biblically. If you think about Abraham, and Abraham has this son Isaac, and Isaac is supposed to be the one that the great nation of Israel that's going to bless the whole world and be a people greater than the number of the stars and the sand and all that is going to come from. And he's single, and so God just apparently Abraham just doesn't go, well, I hope he just dates around and finds someone. Like Abraham went through this process. I'm going to ask God. I believe God has someone for Isaac. I'm going to send my servant, and then we're going to go to this other land. And the servant goes, and he continues to ask God. And they come to this well. Maybe you've heard this story before. They come to this well, and he says, God, may the one that Isaac is supposed to marry, may she walk up and offer to water our camels. May she offer me a drink first, or if I ask her for a drink, then may she also offer to water our camels. First girl that walked up, it's a girl named Rebecca. He says, can I have a drink of water? Sure. You mean water your camels too? Boom. He starts breaking out. You girls would love this. He starts breaking out all kinds of gold because these people are rich. Like Abraham is rich. He starts just lavishing all this jewelry upon her. She's like, cha-ching, And it turns out that she was also of the same faith and that they actually were, I know it sounds weird, but in those days, the world's a lot smaller. They were distant cousins, which was a good thing. Okay, it's different than today. And so, because they were of similar, family attributes and values, and so that was it, man. There was no dating involved in that particular thing. Like she said yes. He asked for Isaac. She said yes. She loaded up with all the treasure, and she got on a camel. And she went across the desert back to where Isaac was. Isaac's out working in the field, sees her from afar off. Literally, he comes in, they get married, and they go into the tent together, and they're married for the rest of their life. Like, that was it. Yeah. So it's a different kind of thing than dating, and that makes you kind of nervous probably to think about that, but that's the way that it worked biblically. And so, yes, I do believe that God has someone for you. I also believe you can make mistakes and God can adjust. And let's be real clear about that, because some of us then will get to a point in life where we question whether or not we found the right one. And that's a hard thing. Here's the thing about God that's so great. You can keep asking. Not for another one, but for God to infiltrate the relationship that you're in. And He will. Now, if you're dating and feel like you're with the wrong one, then you don't need to be asking God as much as you need to be taking action as well as asking God. If you sit around in a dating relationship continually asking God to make them the right one, you haven't put the ring in your finger yet. So you still have a choice at that point to make some other decisions. So, does that answer your question? All right. And yes, some people will remain single. The Bible says that. But if here's my theory about the singleness thing. If you're one of the people who's supposed to remain single, you'll know it. Like, you'll be okay with it. I just, some guys are set in my office and girls, and especially guys, though, who are like made for marriage, and they're always upset, and, oh, man, and I want, they were too serious, It's like they're going to be the best husbands in the world, but they really freak girls out when they're dating because they're always like trying to commit too much, They're like, whoa, easy there, killer. And what I always tell them is, they go, maybe I'm just supposed to be single forever. And I go, man, I just don't see that, I just think it's not the right time. I think the person who's supposed to be single forever will know it and be comfortable with it, and that'll be something that they'll be okay with. So, great question.